Namaste, Namaskaram, Vanakkam, Namo Namaha, Jai Ganesha. Please visit our website at classicalyoga.org. And there is a donate button there if you would like to help us out. And please stand up for the Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific, philosophical lifestyle. Today's podcast, Forever a Hero, Forever in Our Heart. Sitting on the beach one day, and at our beach we have a couple of benches there on the dunes where you can overlook the ocean. And people put plaques on these benches in commemoration of a loved one. So one of the plaques, and several of them, have said, "Forever a hero, and so forever in our heart." These seem to be common sayings, so let's think about them. And you know, in the Hindu Yoga Dharma, we always associate the Anahata heart chakra with the youthful, loving, warrior deities of Hinduism, Skanda Muruga, Hanuman, Krishna, and Durga Ma. A true hero acts out of love. That's a true warrior spirit. Remember, those three qualities must go together: youthful, loving, warrior. For if we're a warrior without love, then we just become a brute. And no matter what the physical age, the warrior mentality, along with a youthful countenance, brings about that youthful state, no matter what the physical age. A hero is not a temporary state of being, but forever a hero. We can enjoy the use of these words. Of course, in Sanskrit we use Priya and Ananda for love and bliss, and Bala and Vira for youthful, warrior, respectively. It takes heart to be a warrior. And one must develop the art of listening to uncover the love at the heart. Look at the English word heart. It has art in there. It has here. So to truly uncover the youthful, loving warrior, we have to listen. Listen to outer voices, listen to the inner voice. And it becomes a practice. It's an art to become a youthful, loving warrior. So now let's make an acronym out of HERO for all of us. We want to be a Hindu, energetic, rational, operative. Hindu, energetic and emotional, rational, operative. Or in general, just a human, energetic, rational, operative. Remember, we never confuse generalities and specifics. We're speaking of the specific Hindu yoga dharma, Hinduism, the Hindu religion. But we can also relate this to humanity in general, life in general. So a Hindu is energetic and emotional. That is karma and bhakti yoga. So too, humans are all energetic and emotional to one degree or another. And importantly, rational. That's Raja Yoga to enlightenment, which is Jnana Yoga or Samadhi. This is what it means to be a Hindu. To follow the classic four yogas, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. That's your energetic energy and your devotion. Remember, devotion is defined as religious fervor. And rational, that's your thinking process. That's your Raja Yoga to Jnana Yoga, enlightenment, listening to outer wisdom and the wisdom from within. So these are qualities we seek to keep with us basically forever, for our lifetime, and on into perhaps the next one. Because remember, Hindus believe in samsara, or reincarnation, and forever in our heart. In other words, the eternal nature of the Atmana at the heart. And remember, Atmana means not your mind. It is that inner essence of Sat Chit Ananda, pure existence, pure consciousness, knowledge, bliss, essentially love, light, and energy. Om, this are we, with emotions, mind, and body. So interesting, the word forever, we could use F-O-U-R, the number forever, and look at the wisdom of four. In other words, the wisdom of foundation. The first chakra at the anal region, Muladhara chakra, is a 4-petaled lotus around a square. This is Ganesha's chakra, or earthiness, memory, and elimination. Knowing what to hold on to, what to let go of. And of course, our most important memory is to never forget who we are, Tattvamasi, the 3 words that define Hindu Dharma, that thou art. We are the Atmana of Satchidananda, Jyoti, Shakti, Ananda, Shanti, love, light, and energy, with a Deha, Mana, Bhavaha, with a body, mind, and emotions. With this foundation, one can safely and effectively proceed on their life's journey. So in other words, with a good foundation, Muladhara chakra, being earthy, grounded, never forgetting who we are. And for Hindus, obviously, the first deity, Ganesha, with this grounding, then we can rise up, so to speak, into deeper inner states of consciousness and then safely come back to. You could use the analogy of a rocket that's mission is to blast off into outer space, inner space, if you will. And how does it do that? We don't focus on the platform, do we? That deep, deep concrete platform without which the rocket wouldn't be able to blast off. We're focusing on the rocket and where it's going. But without that foundation, it's never going to get off the ground. And then when they used to come safely back to the ocean, right? That's softly landing again back into Muladhara chakra. So as we proceed up and in the chakras, and then we come back out again into our material world, it becomes a beautiful circular dance of creation, preservation, destruction. Waking, sleeping, go out, go in. Ganesha's 1 foot up and 1 foot down. Prakriti, Purusha, go out to Prakriti, the material world, into Purusha and back again. A good balance. So let's look at the wisdom of 4 in the Hindu Yoga Dharma. First and foremost, we have 4 Vedas, our original scriptures. Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharvana. We have the 4 bodies, physical, mental, emotional, and soulful, if you will. Remember, the word soul is different in English because it's still connected to the mind. We would use the word Atmana, which is literally not the mind. So, Deha, Mana, Bhavaha, physical, emotional, mental, and the Atmana. And then we have 4 parts to the primal sound, Om. Associated again with Ganesha, and found in the Mandukya Upanishad, the shortest Upanishad, likened unto the frog. Mandukya is the frog, who sits on 4 points of contact, the 4 parts of the Om. And many people see it written O-M. It's truly spelled A-U-M, or in English A-U-M, but it sounds like O-M, so you see people writing it O-M. But the primal sound, A-U-M. And then the 4th is the silence in between. Om. And then the silence in between, A-U-M. And what does that stand for? Vaishvanata Tejasya Prajna. A-U-M. The animal, human, divine nature, of which we all are. Just like the symbolic wisdom of Ganesha. He is an animal, he is a human, and a divine being. So too are we, animal, human, and divine. So every time you chant this primal sound with consciousness, you are going through a mini evolutionary cycle. Animal, human, divine. And it starts at the base. Chakras 1, 2, and 3 up to the belly. That's the animal nature, right? We share this with our fellow animals. Evacuation, procreation, digestion. Then we go into the humanity of the heart, the love at the heart, the ooh nature. And you feel these sounds in your body. And then the is the divine head. And then the 4th is the Turiya state, the 0 state, the silence in between. The no-thingness, it's really the fullness of everything. Remember, more no-thingness than somethingness. So the primal sound, Om, 4 parts. Then we have the classic 4 yogas of the Hindu Yoga Dharma. Karma Yoga, Hindu ethics. Bhakti Yoga, Hindu devotion. Raja Yoga, Hindu contemplations. The better English word than meditation. Meditation simply means to concentrate. Contemplation means to concentrate on something within the spirit realm, if you will. But again, specifically, this is Raja Yoga to the Hindus. To the fourth, Jnana Yoga, the enlightenment state, both outer study and inner study. Karma, Bhakti, Raja, Jnana. The Tamils call it Charya, Kriya, Yogam, and Jnanam. The four classic yogas of Hinduism. The four methodologies: ethics, devotion, meditation to enlightenment. Here's a general way of understanding karma, bhakti, raja, jnana. And if you make an acronym out of this, it's ED, which is an abbreviation for education, ME, ed-me, ethics, devotion, meditation to enlightenment. In other words, we understand in general that if one wants to be successful in life, one must first have a grounding, a foundation of ethical behavior. Just think of life in general, ethical codes of conduct. In school, in the business realm, certainly it's found in all the religions of the world. And then, with an ethical foundation, one becomes fully devoted to the task at hand, to a relationship, to a sport, to their studies, to a religion. Full-on devotion, deepen it in concentration, which is the meaning of the English word meditation. One keeps up this process and one will have a relatively successful life or an enlightened state of being. Enlightened we're meant to be. The inner enlightenment, meaning a joy, a sense of buoyancy as opposed to depression, and the inner realizations, imagination. Remember, Einstein praised imagination even over intellect. So the four methodologies, ethics, devotion, meditation, enlightenment, which you can find in many areas of life, and certainly in the religions of the world, to one degree or another. But remember to respect them specifically. So it's Hindus that say karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raja yoga, jnana yoga. And just as a side note, within those four classic yogas, we have hatha yoga, Hindu devotional postures. This is the one that's totally perverted today under the guise of yoga. Remember, the Sanskrit, Tamil, Hindu word yoga, yogam, really has nothing to do with the physical body. It means to yoke to that inner essence, which Hindus call the Atmana, and then Brahman, which is not God. That's a greater source of the Atmana. So, Yuj, Atman, Brahman, Cha is the Sanskrit definition of the Sanskrit Hindu word yoga. And then the prefix is necessary to define how Hindus are doing this process. And remember, there's always a huge difference between a student and a teacher. We welcome anyone to study Hindu Dharma, but in order to become a teacher of Hinduism, or any of the religions of the world, honestly, ethically, sanely, one must first become a qualified member of that religion. That just makes common sense. Now, in the Yoga Sutras, which is one of the 6 orthodox systems of Hindu philosophy, another work that's been totally distorted by today's spurious yoga movement, the Saiva Hindu Guru Patanjali details 4 steps to samadhi, to the first samadhi. There's 2 classifications, one for all Hindus in general and the other for the renunciate yogis, which is who he was actually teaching in the Yoga Sutras. He was teaching young male renunciate yogis in training. So the 4 steps to samadhi: vitarka, vichara, ananda, asmita. Savitarka, savichara, sa ananda, sa asmita. In other words, exercising reason, judgment, bliss, in other words, understanding what is true joy or bliss, and a purified ego. We don't get rid of the ego, we purify it. Reason, judgment, bliss, purified ego. Vitarka, vichara, ananda, asmita. These are the first signs of samadhi and the steps to it. Exercising reason and judgment. So much for the New Age thoughtless cliche, do not judge, which is a judgment. Patanjali says, no, you must judge. Use your reason and logic, which is our Nyaya philosophy, and judgment. And remember the definition of judgment: the ability to make wise decisions, exercising sound judgment. With that awareness, one will no longer use that thoughtless cliche, do not judge. All you parents out there, you know that you want to teach your children sound judgment, make good decisions, wise judgment. We don't want to be erroneously judging people and erroneously judgmental, but not using judgment. That is a bad recipe. So reason, judgment, bliss, purified ego. And then there are 4 vital aspects to life in general, and certainly this is in the Hindu yoga dharma. First, we must respect our teachers in life. And Hindus always look to their parents, and everyone should, as their, hopefully you had good parents. Parents as your first teachers, and they do teach you. Hopefully they're teaching you the right thing. Hopefully, but they've been taught by their parents, and so it goes. Or in the negative. So we want to respect our teachers, which are parents, and then our teachers in school, and then our employers, and then if we belong to one of the religions of the world, the teachers there, the clergy, if you will. And notice how the cycle goes, because children grow up to be parents, and they become teachers to their children. Students may become teachers, and so on. This is the way it goes. An employee may become an employer. So first and foremost, we have to respect our teachers if we want to have a successful life and a coherent, successful society. And then we must respect where they teach, be it the home or the school or the job site or the religious institution. And that means just that, respecting the buildings themselves and helping them. And children at home, do their chores, take care of your home. And when it comes to the religions of the world, people need to remember that these institutions have to survive. They have bills to pay as well. It's very important, though the teachings are always given on a donation basis, very important that people donate. If they don't, how are these buildings going to survive? Especially in today's economy. And then every teacher gives forth their teachings, be it the lessons that one gets at home, and then obviously the lessons in school, lessons on the job, lessons in their religious training. And then it's up to each individual to be self-motivated. So with these 4 steps, just like the EDME process, and taking care of our body, mind, emotions, and soul, one will have a relatively successful life if you respect your teachers, where they teach, their teachings, and do your homework, so to speak. Be self-motivated. Now, in Hindu dharma, we could refer to this as Guru, Ashram, Shastras, and Sadhana. Guru, teachers, Ashram, where they teach, Shastras, the teaching, Sadhana, individual effort. And we chose these 4, Guru, Ashram, Shastra, Sadhana, because it makes an acronym, GASS. And this was inspired by a paper written by Indian Hindu author O.P. Gupta, who wrote a paper entitled Hindus Suffer from Gas. Now, in his understanding and awareness that his fellow Hindus suffered from genetically acquired slavery syndrome. We could also add selfish or surrender syndrome. Hindus have to wake up to the fact that for millennia they have been abused, taken advantage of, pilfered from the land of India and the distortions of the Hindu yoga dharma. Right up to the present, it's getting worse and worse with the modern spurious yoga movement. Now, in life, there are basically 2 types of gas. There's noxious, poisonous gas, carbon monoxide, and there's good gas, which is obviously O2, oxygen, our first and last food, prana. So in order to defeat this genetically acquired slavery syndrome, we came up with the acronym, well, then start respecting the gurus, the ashram, the shastras, and sadhana. And we see how this plays out in life in general. But just look at the opposite. If we don't respect our teachers in Hinduism, the gurus, the teachers, the pandits, pujaris, etc., if we don't respect the home, if we don't respect the ashrams and the mandirs and don't upkeep them, provide financial support for them, if we don't respect the teachings, the shastras, and if we don't do our own homework, if we're not self-motivated, that's an absolute recipe for disaster, for a very weak, if any, foundation at all. So, the choice is always up to us. Do we strive to become a hero, a human who's energetic, rational, operative? And in our case, a Hindu, energetic, rational, operative? Or, taking it backwards, or evaporational Hindus, or OR, evaporational, we made that word up, Hindus. In other words, do we stand up for the Hindu yoga dharma, or do we let it evaporate? Remember, logically, no thing is eternal. Things come and go. It is said there'll be a time when there is no more earth, even no more sun. No thing is eternal. However, nothing is eternal. Think about that. The no thingness, of which, again, there's more of that in the universe than things. The no thingness, the absolute, non-dual experience of which one cannot speak. Yatovacho niyavartanteya prapyas manasa saha. Yogi Garakanath. True mystics understand that that experience is beyond the speech, even beyond the very mind that seeks to comprehend it. Getting deep now into the Hindu yoga dharma of mysticism. Literally then, to have that experience, one must go out of their mind. In an ethical way, of course, because we've chosen unethical ways to go out of our mind. And it's not so far-fetched, because actually we go there every night, in the depths of sleep, which we absolutely need in order to function during the day. That no thingness, which is the fullness of everything. The tat, if we use a word, again, words are just that. This is the realm of pure experience. Yatovacho niyavartanteya prapyas manasa saha. So remember, Hindus, no thing is eternal. So when we use the word sanatan, we have to be careful with that one. The nothingness is eternal, but no thing is eternal. All things will come and go. All people will come and go. All language comes and goes. All created things, human things, which all religions are. We have to face that fact. They're all, Hinduism included, obviously. They're all human creations, but they're created in order to help us get through our various lifetimes. Very important. In order to make sense out of life, we have to have certain eternal, if you will, principles that make our life journey far more satisfying and productive. So, fellow humans, are you going to become an energetic, rational operative? And fellow Hindus, are you going to become an energetic, rational operative? Doing your karma yoga and bhakti yoga, raja yoga to jnana yoga? A hero, or backwards? Or evaporational humans, evaporational Hindus? Do we let things go when we should hold on to things? Let's look for a moment at the water cycle itself. Remember, our first and last food is air. Then next is water. Then food. And this defines the Hindu understanding of samsara, or reincarnation. Every breath of air, every drop of water has been reincarnated. So if we look at the water cycle, for example, we have precipitation as the rains fall down. This is a wonderful meditation in and of itself, because essentially the three things that we need, air, water, and food, are in essence given to us daily, freely. Air, water falls from the sky. Food, you can pick an apple off of the tree. Of course, yeah, we cultivate these things and we box them and sell them in the supermarkets, etc. But think about the wisdom of the giving nature of life itself, that is giving us freely. And this is why true religions are always given on a free basis. But remember, there is a give and take. You have to return the gift in the form of a donation. Otherwise, the religious institutions cannot continue. But the gifts of the Spirit can't be bought and sold. That's why they're always given on a donation basis, which is why today's spurious yoga is so criminal, actually. Stealing yoga from the Hindus, making it a crass exercise routine, and then further into a business, and unabashed businesses. How to be a financially rich yogi. Come on, this is so absurd. It's forgetting the very life cycle itself of air and water and food. So in this beautiful water cycle, we have precipitation. And then we have interception. It's intercepted by the earth. And then it goes down into the earth, infiltration. And then it percolates there and then ascends again into evaporation. And then finally condensation in the form of clouds. And then the whole cycle just goes round and round and round. The beautiful cycle. Same with the air cycle. As we breathe out carbon dioxide, and the trees take it in and they give us out oxygen. That's why the trees are always our Gurujis. In the Hatha Yoga, remember, these are Hindu devotional postures to Hindu deities and a Hindu worldview of how to look at the various things of nature, the trees and the animals, the snakes. So if we look at the trees, they're our Gurujis, and we have a beautiful asana in Hatha Yoga, Vrikshasana, which shows us the wisdom of the composite nature of our classic Hindu yogas. To be a fully blooming, blossoming, fruit-bearing tree, you must simultaneously have strong roots, karma yoga. A strong trunk reaching up, like all temples, reach up. The mandapams, the gopurams reach up to the skies, the steeples. That's the trunk of the tree. That's bhakti yoga. Namaste. The hands go up. We look up for inspiration. Bhakti yoga, the trunk of the tree, that branches out into the multifaceted nature of the inner experiences of the mind of Raja Yoga, the flowering Raja, the royal yoga, and then the final product of the fruit of enlightenment, Gyan Yoga. And within that is the Atmana that's always been there, drops to the ground, and the whole cycle goes year after year after year, day after day, year after year, perhaps lifetime after lifetime. We keep repeating the process. Strong roots, trunk, branches, flowers, fruit, karma, bhakti, raja, jnana. And this is the way to nirvana. We keep repeating it in every year, if you will. The tree becomes larger, stronger, gives more flowers, gives more fruit. Beautiful understanding. The trees as our Gurujis, Vrikshasana. So at this point in the massive spurious yoga movement, it's always easier to do something, simplistic, or people love to join on the latest fad. And again, think for a moment, if you can become a professional in 200 hours and take that seriously, well, good luck. So in this spurious yoga movement, they've gone through the condensation process. They've condensed actually the wrong material. Remember, we could learn something wrong for 20, 30 years. It's not simply the length of time, it's what we're learning. So they've had this experience of a condensed misunderstanding of what is yoga, actually. And then that's been intercepted by many others. It's infiltrated into huge, massive organizations, complete and riddled with scandals throughout the ages, throughout the decades, if you will. And you need to look into those because they have devastated the lives of many people. And then this is all percolated, and they're stuck really in this false understanding, this false condensation. Whereas Hindus are kind of stuck in the evaporational mode. They've let it go. They've developed it all, which is such an insult to the great rishis when we let it go. But they're in kind of evaporation mode, and they've let it go. They need to once again get into condensation mode and bring it all back together and understand that this is all about the Hindu yoga dharma. Open to anyone to learn, but never ever make anybody a teacher until they first become fully committed to the Hindu yoga dharma. So again, Hindus, the choice is up to us. Do we strive to become a Hindu, energetic, rational operative, or O-R-E-H, or evaporational Hindus? The choice is up to us. Forever be a hero, Hindus. And in the immortal words of Swami Vivekananda, when the name Hindu sends a galvanic shock through your entire being, then and then alone are you a Hindu. When you come to the aid of any Hindu in distress, then and then alone are you a Hindu. Swamiji chided his fellow Hindus who acted as cowards. So, Jago Uttakara Deko, awake, arise, look and see. Thou art that Tattvam Asi. Aham Brahmasmi. Om Tat Sat.